Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to your story titled, Tonight I Found Out My Wife is Cheating on Me. And a big shout out to Don for sending this story. And guys, this is about a guy, he's 34, only been married 2 years, and lo and behold, he's done. He's ready to divorce the wife. Although at first he doesn't think so, he is now, as this is multiple parts. And basically, guys, this is a situation where it seemed like things were pretty good until they got married. And now it's just drama and arguments and problems, and then all sorts of shady behavior on her part. But you're going to see how, of course, when he noticed these things and tried to stand up for himself, she painted him as the bad guy. In fact, I think she calls him a dictator at one point. But guess what? Turns out, gaslighting, she's the bad guy here. And all about how he handles it. And it's a perfect example, guys, of where there's smoke, there's fire. So don't ever doubt yourself. Trust your gut if you're unfortunately in a situation like this, and be prepared to act. And in some cases, show no mercy. Because believe me, they don't. And before I get started, guys, as I've been saying all week, if you happen to be on X, formerly Twitter, come check me out. I'm on there now, SSM Channels. We're having a lot of fun over there. Definitely doing this to help market the channel in other places because YouTube's not too friendly. And this allows me to do updates and let people know because a lot of people aren't getting notifications about videos and all. And I got to do what I got to do because they don't like channels like mine very much anymore. So definitely, again, come on over, SSM Channels, and follow. So it starts off, says here, Hi all, I'm 34 years old and married my wife, a 33-year-old female, for 2 years, together for 6. Last 6 months we've been having more arguments than usual, although nothing too dramatic, mostly around silly stuff. Generally, we never used to argue. Wife was really stressed at work during autumn, and we had a few arguments which did not help. She suggested seeing a therapist, which I thought was odd, as it wasn't that serious, so I declined, saying she should do it herself, mostly because her problems are work-related, but maybe that's selfish of me, I know. Well, if she's wanting to see a therapist and you're arguing all the time, it sounds like she's trying to work on something, and you're like, it's all you. You could see where that could lead to problems, but that doesn't obviously excuse what she does. We've also been trying for a baby unsuccessfully for more than a year, which adds more stress to the pressure for us. Well, that'll do it. For the last 12 to 16 months, she also mentioned this male coworker from time to time, who she also said was a Prince fan like her, and they bonded over music. Well, when women bring up other guys, that's a red flag, because usually that's their way of saying, this is your replacement if you don't step up to the plate and start doing what I want you to do, whatever that may be. This is why they go crazy when a guy brings up a gal, even though he has no attraction for her at all. I didn't give it much attention until some point last year when she mentioned that he invited her to go check out some records during lunch, and then around time he invited her to a museum. I said, no, it's odd to hang out with a male colleague on Friday nights, to which she disagreed, saying he's just friendly and has a kid and a family, etc. Oh, because no guy who's married has ever cheated with another married woman ever? Really? She's trying to make you out to be, you're crazy for thinking that. You don't trust me. And I guess they're obviously going to vinyl stores and seeing old records or whatever they were talking about. Well, fast forward to this year, and we've been having a few arguments as well. I noticed that from around January, she's been texting a lot more than usual. I did ask a few times who it was, and she said it's her friend Laura, important for later, and I noticed a slight change in her behavior in January, like she was super stressed, didn't want to talk, and listened to a lot of quirky music. You can see she's checking out. This is not working. And they were probably, in his mind, great up until they got married. Well, she kept talking about all these new bands she's discovering. One odd thing that happened in January is that she left a friend's baby shower earlier than me, blaming that she's tired, which is very uncharacteristic of her. Basically, it felt like she didn't want to do anything together anymore. Again, more signs, talking about other dudes, trying to go out with the other dude, which he should have nipped that in the bud immediately. On her phone, leaving things early, yeah. Finally, she asked if she can go out with that male colleague, because he invited her to the cinema on Saturday night to watch some band they both liked. No, you're not going to go hang out with another dude. End of freaking story. I don't hang out with other chicks. I couldn't really say no as I caught up with a female friend from school when I was home in January just for a coffee, and she knew that. Smack! Well, there you go, bonehead. You just gave her an excuse. Why are you hanging out with chicks, too? But the thought of her meeting the guy was really irking me all the time. A few times I mentioned it. Her weird as it to ask a married woman out on a Saturday night, and it's not the first time he's done it. Yeah, I'd be confronting this guy, and I'd also be laying down the law with the wife. Well, she just shrugged it off, saying it's totally fine. Everyone is friendly at their company, and it's just the cinema. I guess this is obviously not in America because they're calling it the cinema. She even said she'll try to invite a few colleagues, so it's not just the two of them. Yeah, right. On the day of the cinema, she tells me it's just the two of them, as the other two can't make it. What a coincidence. The next day, it was my friend's birthday, and again, she didn't come. In fact, I already felt something was suspicious. I couldn't tell what, but all her behavior was so distant and weird. I mentioned the whole male colleague situation again, which made her super angry, gaslighting me like some kind of jealous dictator. That's a popular word these days. Yeah, there you go. If you're not hanging out anymore, and I guarantee they're not sleeping together anymore, even though you said they were trying for a baby, it's over. She's checked out of the relationship. And, he did screw up because she did want to go to therapy and work on some things, but still it doesn't excuse what she's doing here. Let's see here. She was adamant that he hasn't made any moves on her, and it was totally fine, and I'm overreacting like some freak. No. She also suggested again that we see a therapist as we can't communicate very well. Anyway, we ended up arguing and shouting, and then I left. I did agree to see a therapist, though, ASAP. Well, it's probably too late. But still, this is a mess. Anyway, I come back from my friend's birthday party tonight, and she's already asleep. I went to bed as well, but I just couldn't fall asleep staring at the ceiling. Now, what happens next, I'm not proud of. I know it's not cool, but I just thought I'd check her phone, and I take blame for that. Smack! All these boneheads apologize to Reddit for going through the wife's phone. I have no problem with guys doing that if there's clearly something going on, suspicious behavior. And guess what? For married couples out there, if the guy is behaving this way and the wife or girlfriend's a good one and she's not doing anything wrong and he's acting suspicious just like this, I got no problem with her going through the fucking phone. Yeah. Well, on WhatsApp is with her friend. They're clearly talking about me, and she's saying that she's afraid of me. I did shout at her louder than usual, and how she needs a safe space, and even gave her emergency phone number. That's the world we live in now, that if there's a genuine argument or disagreement, and if a guy yells, all of a sudden, I'm not safe anymore, I feel unsafe, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, she gave him plenty of reason to get mad and yell. The reality is, the guy's got to keep calm, as difficult as that is. I was like, what the fuck? That was shocking to read, considering I've never raised my hand on my wife. I'm not sure what sort of shit she told about me. Well, she's setting the stage to give her justification for what she's doing. But then I click on the Laura text, and I keep scrolling through, and it's all music. But then I see all the messages how Laura is commenting on her ass in the office, something like, wow, your ass looks really hot in those trousers. And she responded something in return. Oh, I guess Laura's a lesbian. Or Laura is the male coworker. I saw some other messages like that, but by the time my heart was pulsing, hand shaking, and I wanted to vomit. I was so shocked it made me ill, and I really can't remember anything at all in the terms of the other messages. I was just sick. I just started shouting, what have you done? And that woke her up. I left the phone with her. Now she can say you're screaming at her in bed and waking her up and scaring her in the middle of the night. Gotta be careful, man. She pretty much admitted the fact immediately. It was a lot of tears, and she said that she just liked the attention. Of course, we're getting the waterworks, and here you go about the attention. Attention and validation never stops. She was adamant it was nothing more than flirting, and yes, it was stupid of her, etc., and she probably wouldn't be able to forgive me if she was in my shoes. She has this all planned out. She's not sorry. She's sorry she got caught. We talked for about 2 hours, mainly me trying to fish more info from her, and when did it start, did you have sex, etc. Now the problem is my wife goes to other cities for work every other week, and now I started to realize the worst. But she swore there was no sex, she was just talking to the guy for the last 2 weeks, and they didn't even kiss. Nothing, not even in the cinema yesterday. So this guy's vindicated. Him having a problem with this other dude her hanging out with and talking to, there you go. And she's making him out to be the bad guy the whole time. You all heard it a few minutes ago. No, she's cheating. This is a load of crap. It's time to end it. Okay, they only been married 2 years. They've been trying to have a kid, as he said. That's not happening. So clearly there's fertility issues here. Fighting, drama, all that deceit. It's not working. Time to go. I pushed her to show me the text to prove it, but she declined. Eventually, after multiple questions, she did say that the guy was planning to come over to the same city in 2 weeks and suggested they could have dinner together. But she said nothing would have happened, etc., which I find hard to believe. Well, the fact that she won't show you the text, if she was really apologetic, believe me, she would be an open book or open phone and show him these things. Nope, she's not showing him anything. There's a reason for that. And they're planning a date. Come on here. She did apologize and said sorry multiple times, but honestly, I don't know if I find her tears convincing. They're not convincing, dude. Don't fall for it. She was clearly lying to me before, and she could be lying again. Just the fact that she didn't want to show me the text is very odd. Is there more than I haven't seen? You bet your ass is more than you haven't seen, man. Don't be a fool. But those tears in the waterworks, they have superpowers over men. After all the lies, I'm not sure I can ever trust her again. I just believe nothing has happened. Like, how do you comment on colleagues' asses without having some previous encounters? I probably haven't seen the worst of those texts. Dude, there's a reason she does want to show you those. Come on here. You can say to her, either you're going to show them to me, all of them, or you're out of here right now. We're done. But then again, it's probably what she wants anyway. At this point, I'm not even sure what I'm trying to achieve by typing this into Reddit. Well, you obviously want to vent. You want to hear people's opinions. That type of thing. You will laugh, but my 2 previous relationships resulted in my girlfriends cheating on me, so I broke up with them. And after 6 years, the same thing again. I'm sorry, bro, but I think it's number 1. Sadly, the vast majority cheat, so there's no surprise there. And also, there's obviously you probably behave in a way. I mean, cheating is awful and everything, but you may behave in a way that turns them off that they do that, or you attract a certain type of gal that's like that. We can go round and round here, you know. At the end of the day, they're scumbags for doing that, but still, you have to say there could be some things you're doing that's turning them off big time, or attracting those lowlives. A man with a big heart could forgive and move on. No, a man that was stupid can forgive and move on. But at the same time, I know I will live in constant discomfort and fear. How do I know they're not just talking at work? What is she doing at her work trips? When she goes out to see a friend, is it really that friend? We have a house together, which we have to sell in case of a divorce, have loads of travel tickets for the upcoming year, flights, weddings, concerts, etc. I really don't know what to do, so any advice would be helpful. Who do I talk to about it? None of my friends had this experience, thank God. Thank you. Now, he's going to do an update here, a couple of them, but it's a giant mess. This is not going to work, okay? And the fact that she won't show him those things says it all. And, of course, remember how he knew something was wrong and she was gaslighting him and calling him a controlling dictator or something, and gee, there you go. But you can tell she'll blame it all on him. He was controlling, he was yelling at me, he wouldn't go to therapy, I was giving her all the excuses she wanted. Well, on to the update. It says, first of all, thank you for the kind messages and PMs. It really means a lot. Apologies, I haven't responded to anyone as I'm still processing what happened. I'm trying to push my wife to speak to her parents to tell them in first instance she is not against it, but wants us to speak first in the evening. I'm not sure she wants to buy more time or something. She also said she still wants to see a therapist together on Thursday to see if that helps anything. So I think she wants to stay married to this guy because obviously she's married and he can provide and all that, but she wants to have her fun on the side until she can find somebody to take her away from this. I'm on the fence about this. I found the guy in question on LinkedIn. When I asked her if that's him, she absolutely freaked out and started asking what I was going to do. Why are you freaking out, honey? Shouldn't you be freaking out about our marriage possibly breaking up, but you're more freaked out because I found this guy? She's freaked out that he's going to reach out to him and track him down and all. She started begging that I don't contact him or HR or his wife. I asked whether she thinks his wife deserves to know he's a cheating scumbag, but she absolutely was horrified at the idea. She's more concerned about him than the husband here. I floated the idea that in an unlikely event we stayed together, she'd have to quit her job. She didn't like that one bit, saying what if I still dumped her down the line? She'd be jobless in this tough market. If he dumped her or divorced her, then he would be paying alimony, so she would win. This guy has every right to say, okay, we're going to stay together. you're going to leave that job, and I'm going to reach out to that guy and his wife. Look at her actions. Her actions say everything. You can't stay with her. And last, he has a little update. This was actually a separate post later on that he's done with her. And the title was, Wife Cheated on Me, What's Next? He says, hi all. Basically, my wife cheated on me. I want to know what my options in case of a divorce. So now he's on to the divorce thing. You can see my other post with details of the affair in my profile. We have a house at roughly 60% LTV. I contribute around $45,000 more than her so far. There's nothing else we really share. Each of us have our own private pensions, etc. No kids. I never thought this would happen to me, so I want to know where to start and anything to consider. We are married, but we are not married, but have a civil partnership. Thank you. Well, they're not married. Well, it sounded like they are married, but whatever. The point is, this is not going to work. Now, that's how it abruptly ended. However, we know there's going to be updates here, and I'm sharing this to show you all the crap that goes on, very typical, and all the denying and all that. And in a situation like this, guys, it's over, you know? And so what I think he needs to do is talk to an attorney, talk to a few attorneys. That way then he meets with them and she can't go to them. Find out his options. They haven't been married or there's whatever the fuck he called civil partnership that long, so it shouldn't be too bad. And hopefully that's that. I don't know what country he's from, but regardless. But since there's no kids and it hasn't been that long, hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. But you can't stay with someone like that. It's just too much, you know? You can't have a relationship without trust. And you guys are married out there. They're happily married or have good relationships. Know this. Because once the trust is gone, that is it. So she deserves what she gets. They're both young and can start over. So, you know, hey, why be miserable? All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And, guys, you find the update before me, let me know about it, and I'll cover it. And also, you find any other good stories, definitely send them my way, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it, and I definitely will. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.